This is Night City, one of the most immersive cities I've had the pleasure of visiting in a game. Since Cyberpunk 2077 is quickly approaching its 5th birthday, I thought it was a good idea to go through 5 things that no one has been able to solve. If you're like me, you've probably played and replayed the game multiple times and have discovered a lot of things. The things you didn't discover on your own, you probably learned them through Reddit or YouTube. So in this video, we're going to go through all 5 Cyberpunk mysteries that remain unsolved, and if you notice something that could help solve any of them, please leave a comment below. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Chapter 1. The Burning Man. The Burning Man mystery is one of those things that no one has been able to solve despite it seeming quite simple, at least at first. The thing about this mystery is that it's difficult to understand why it's happening in the first place. Let's talk about how to trigger the Burning Man in your own playthroughs. You need to go to this location on the map, close to Biotechnica's massive protein farms. There isn't much going on here, as you can see. It's out in the middle of nowhere, just sand, shrubs and rocks, which is why this massive rock with paintings on it stands out. There's also a zero-sum equation on here, and its meaning is still unknown to this day. By definition, a zero-sum equation is one where the amount of types or numbers on the left side don't matter. It always ends up being 0 in the end. The next step for us is to wait on the front side of the rock without being able to see the back. If you can see behind the rock, the Burning Man won't appear. So, stand in front of the rock and wait until 11:55 PM and then quickly run around, and this is what you're going to see. So far, no one knows who this man is. Is he a proxy of some kind, like the ones we see during the Academy gig in Dogtown, or the ones we see during the Yaiba showroom event, or is this a human with cyberware from Arasaka? Regardless of who or what this is, there's no reason as to why they should be out here in the middle of nowhere on fire. To this day, no one has been able to figure this one out. Chapter 2. The Tarot Cards. After the events of Konpeki Plaza, we head back to the No-Tell Motel. Instead of getting help from Dexter Deshawn, we get a bullet to the brain. Dramatic reaction to a failed heist? Yes, definitely. But V survives, because V shoved the relic chip into their skull during the heist. The nanites tied to Johnny Silverhand's engram contained in that chip kick in, and as that internal war begins between V and Johnny's consciousnesses, the outside world starts warping too. Anders Hellman explains it best.
Okay.
Unbelievable. It looks like...
Can't believe this suit's the one who's gonna help us.
Oh, fuck.
Impressive, isn't it?
What a pity I won't be able to examine it fully.
Yeah, real shame. You could have been his guinea pig too.
Tell me how to get rid of it.
I'm afraid I have bad news. Your neural network has completely deteriorated. It can no longer function independently of the chip. The only thing I could
Woohoo, it's bargaining time.
is to give you information on a good clinic in Sweden. They'll help you through the terminal stages, minimize the pain.
Wait, you said the project was in the trial phase. You don't actually know how it'll end.
Oh, I do. I just saw the construct devouring your brain. It's programmed to take over its new environment, at all costs. And your little meat brain is helpless against it.
So no matter what, sooner or later the engram wins.
Yes. And from what I've heard about Silverhand, that seems to be exactly his style.
Huh. I see my reputation's grown into Arasaka legend.
What exactly is going on in my head?
You tell me, what's it like to have 2 personalities? Because it's not like you're hearing voices. You're both yourself and Silverhand simultaneously.
can see him and talk to him.
You're not talking, but yes, I understand what you mean. Have you noticed the construct's influence on your decision-making?
Sheesh, give it a rest.
When it comes to my decisions, Johnny really is just a voice in my head. Maybe he has a different opinion, but he can't make me do anything.
Agreed 100%. You are one fucking stubborn.
It's not as if one of you wins the debate. The scale simply shifts, slowly but surely.
Another side of this reality is that we begin to see intricate tarot murals around town. Walls, alleys, even street corners, they flicker with strange murals. Tarot cards, sprayed graffiti style, are cropping up across Night City, and we are the only ones who can see them. Scan one mural, then 20 graffiti tarot locations unfold across the city. These aren't just collectibles, they are narrative signals. Each major arcana card carries a symbolic weight, often overlapping with characters, stakes, or even choices ahead in the game. Misty, our go-to for fate and fortune, notes that 2 cards, Judgment and the Devil, are missing from the set until late in the game.
I saw more of those freaky murals.
Did they start making sense? Tell any sort of story?
All just a bunch of tarot cards. I'm pretty sure my brain's now beyond repair.
The tarot tells the story of a fool's journey. Show me what you found, I'll tell you what's left.
Here.
You're still missing 2 arcana, Judgment and the Devil. My guess is that they relate to a turning point in your life, one that's soon to arrive.
What's this Judgment about?
One possible future of redemption, transition, awakening. The angel with the trumpet symbolizes the end of an era and a call to rebirth, to a new beginning.
Rather not run into the devil. Got a feeling he's bad vibes.
That's the card of primal dormant desires, but also the will to survive.
Doesn't sound so bad, actually.
It also represents a false world, the trap these desires lay for you.
What's up with the wandering fool?
The fool is you and Silverhand. You've traveled a long road together, discovered your potential.
And where are we headed?
Your destination is the world, the final arcanum. Both of you waged a war on the world, so there are 2 possibilities. Declare victory, or make peace.
Could lose the war, too.
Yes, unfortunately, that's true.
Thanks. Didn't get much of that, but thanks.
You'll understand when the time comes. I can't explain everything. All the tarot can tell me is that you will reach the world by one of 4 paths.
Meaning?
The final leg of the journey goes through the sun, the star, temperance, or the devil.
Could just die. Not even get that far.
Oh, come on. You won't let that happen. Take this. It's all I can do to help.
The tarot cards start feeling like these in a compass. Symbols bleed into reality, pulling threads between Johnny, V, and the looming showdown with Arasaka. All of which beg the question, who is behind those tarot cards? Is it fate, Johnny, some inscrutable AI? The cards don't speak in plain language. They whisper, tease, warn. Was this a bug of some kind from the relic? If not, who added this feature on the relic and why? As of today, nobody can answer that question.
Some days, I'd open the window, sit on the sill, and just listen to the street sounds. You know, life happening. It was somehow soothing, that. Now, I can't hear, I can't feel anything. Can you?
Somi, this is all kind of Projection, like the others.
Others?
Saw you with Reed, Myers. Saw your past. Don't remember?
No. The Blackwall consumes me all.
Chapter 3. The Blackwall's Voice. The Blackwall is one of the most interesting things in Cyberpunk 2077. It's also one of the deadliest things in the entire game. No one truly knows what it is, what it's made of, or what it wants. The very first time we see the Blackwall is during the quest in Pacifica with the Voodoo Boys. If you pay attention, you'll see how it's actively stopping attacks from beyond the Blackwall. After multiple playthroughs of Cyberpunk 2077, it becomes quite clear that the Blackwall is sentient. This actually makes sense if you take a step back to look at the bigger picture. There's an aspect of it that fully understands humans, which is why it's also so efficient when blocking rogue Netrunners from going beyond the barrier. But there's a rogue AI side to it as well, which is why it's so good at stopping rogue AIs from crossing and coming over to our side. To stop an enemy that is adaptable and can improvise, you need to know that enemy inside out. We've seen this phenomenon time and time again throughout our own history as humans. During World War II, the Germans surprised everyone with the Blitzkrieg tactics. Most Allied forces did not understand this. They didn't understand the German ethos. But then, over time, clarity increased. The Germans were obsessed with quality over quantity. Their Tiger I tanks, for example, were technological wonders, but they couldn't produce many of them. So what did the Allies do? They outproduced the Germans. Simple. Sure, the Tiger I could destroy 3 Sherman tanks and survive. But what about 5 Sherman tanks? What about 10? There comes a point where quantity just beats quality. Obviously, this is an oversimplification, but you get the point. To defeat an enemy, you need to understand it inside out. And the Blackwall understands. It listens, it learns, and lurks in the shadows. Every once in a while, it invites humans to the shadows. Some humans accept the invitation, and they die immediately. The voice of the Blackwall is too much for them to handle. Other humans, often elite Netrunners, can hear this voice and survive. They follow it to the darkness and allow it to consume them. Those who return explain that they feel a presence watching them, as if they'd brought back something from beyond the shadows. We don't truly know what this voice sounds like, or what it's saying to these Netrunners. Whatever it is, it's intoxicating to a point where these Netrunners want to go back again and again and again just to engage with the Blackwall one more time. Does the Blackwall know something about the rogue AI invasion and it's trying to warn us? Or is it just probing to see which weaknesses exist on our side, and more specifically with our best Netrunners, just before it attacks us? After all, if the Blackwall attacked humanity, Netrunners would be the first line of defense. Some would even say Netrunners would be our only line of defense. Chapter 4. FF06B5. FF06B5 is one of the most intriguing mysteries in Cyberpunk 2077, and one of the largest. It's also, without exaggeration, one of the most perplexing puzzles the community has ever faced. The code FF06B5 first appears inscribed on the base of a statue next to Arasaka Tower in Corpo Plaza. At launch, the glowing letters were red, but later on after patches, they were changed to the conspicuous golden yellow that we've gotten used to. For years, nobody knew what this code meant, why it was on multiple statues across Night City, or if it was meant to lead to something bigger, or if it was just a red herring. CDPR developers remained secretive. Quest director Pavel Sasko, for example, would only grin and smile when asked about the mystery, and he would say things like, "Of course there's a meaning, some things need to be difficult to uncover, etc." And so the FF06B5 riddle and mystery continued. And on this point, I need to give my opinion relating to another big mystery. Before we go any further, I have to acknowledge that the work that CDPR did to bring this mystery to life was incredible. Of course, it was the community's obsession with the mystery that gave it its wings, but CDPR stepped in and gave us interesting clues to chase down and discover. This is unlike what Rockstar did with the Mount Chiliad mystery. A while back, I told you chums that I wanted to solve the Mount Chiliad mystery, and I did actually, I believe, solve it. If you'd like a dedicated video about the Mount Chiliad mystery and everything surrounding the mystery, let me know and I'll begin work on that video. But for now, let's continue with FF06B5. Behind a portal in a Witcher 3 dungeon, a glowing Ouroboros painting bore characters from an old Slavic alphabet spelling out something like FFVQBZ. The symbol's center was a magenta triangle, the very same color as our code, yet another thing tying the world of Cyberpunk to the world of The Witcher. This was the first big hint that FF06B5 wasn't just a random gibberish thing. A Witcher series YouTuber, xLetalis, discovered that mural and set off a frenzy of speculations in the FF06B5 subreddit. The massive update 2.0 that dropped alongside Phantom Liberty in late 2023 changed everything. The game had been fixed, and with this fix came new breakthroughs. New clues planted in the game, finally moving the FF06B5 mystery forward. The first discovery was a hidden location in Biotechnica Flats. Well, hidden in plain sight, one would say. Just for context, this location is also a cemetery for nomads who were exploited and killed by Biotechnica. It is a sad place. Those who remain here are poor, and you can see them mourning their loved ones during the day. Inside the abandoned church, players stumbled upon a laptop belonging to someone named Polyhister. The walls were scrawled with notes, papers littered the floor, and at the heart of the room there were big mainframes with 8 server towers. Clearly, whoever set this up was researching the FF06B5 code just like the real-world community. On the laptop, in the shack, we can actually read Polyhister's emails. The first 2 show that this in-game group of investigators tried a bunch of dead-end theories, but the third message is the bombshell. Polyhister's associate, going by the alias Tyromanter, says he found a real lead. He mentions discovering an FF06B5 sign while playing a vintage game over 60 years old. Naturally, the player community now had the next mission: find Tyromanter and any of his belongings and figure out what he discovered. It didn't take long before a Redditor named Sir Cruz discovered Tyromanter's laptop abandoned in the middle of a landfill. On the laptop's screen was a jumping grid of characters, symbols from The Witcher's in-game universe, and behind them the faint outline of a Ouroboros serpent emblem. With Polyhister's hut and Tyromanter's laptop found, the community pressed on for more clues. They eventually noticed that in Polyhister's shack there was one device still unexplored, quietly hooked up to the mainframe by a cable. It was the arcade machine. Tucked in a corner, next to a skull that should symbolize the devil or witchcraft or whatever. You often see this skull in movies, symbolizing evil or the devil, which is fitting because Arasaka's ending is called the devil ending, hinting at this whole thing being tied back to Arasaka, including the name of the arcade game, but I digress. The arcade game is a playable minigame, essentially a Wolfenstein 3D style shooter, where you play as Johnny Silverhand rampaging through Arasaka Tower. At first glance, it seems like just a fun Easter egg, but this arcade game held layers of secrets. The high score screen, for example, lists Polyhister at the top of the game with a score of FF06B5. That alone signals that the game was part of our puzzle. The true purpose of the arcade became evident only after some hardcore experimentation by the community. It took a while, but eventually someone discovered an extremely well-hidden method to unlock a secret ending to the arcade game. First, you had to trigger the appearance of the Murphy code and then go to a specific location to reveal another clue. You then have to wait in the second server room until a lock icon appeared on the HUD at a very specific time, T-270 seconds. At that point, 10 numbered niches appeared like a keypad on a wall. By walking into them in the right sequence, you can enter the code, and the code needed was 240891, which players discovered. Entering that opens an elevator to level -10, a secret sub-level of the game. It turned out to be a maze-like level containing pieces of a QR code, 9 fragments in total. Once the community painstakingly collected and stitched together these fragments, the QR code revealed text, which was actually a small Python program, a tic-tac-toe game. And when you run this program, or simply decode its purpose, it always ends the same way. The computer inevitably wins, printing the line, "The only winning move is to not play." This message, a reference to the movie War Games, was another clue. Sometimes doing nothing is the key. Indeed, not playing would come into play very soon. Notably, the level -10 maze in the arcade also contained 2 mysterious graffiti messages added in a patch. One said, "It sees you," and another simply 547. By finishing the maze and then completing the arcade game, normally, players effectively rebooted Polyhistory's mainframe. The cable connecting the arcade to the servers wasn't just for show. Beating the secret level caused the 8 previously inactive keypads on the mainframe to come online. It was time to finally input the codes. But the question is, what are the codes? At first, cracking the 8 mainframe codes was easier said than done. CDPR had made an error. The initial codes in version 2.0 were effectively random and unsolvable due to a forgotten hashing function. For about 2 weeks, the mystery stalled, forcing players to peek into game data using mod tools. Eventually, CDPR acknowledged the roadblock, and with patch 2.01, they quietly fixed the mainframe puzzle to make it solvable as intended. After that patch, the community wasted no time in finding the legit solution. This is where Tyromancer's Witcher clue and the funky Witcher alphabet on the landfill laptop finally came into play. The breakthrough came when a user named Tokyo Jinx realized that the weird letters FFVQBZ from The Witcher could be converted into FF06B5 by substituting the non-hex characters with numbers. Each pair of characters corresponded to a digit. Soon, a few puzzle solvers, Tokyo Jinx, along with community members like Fuji and others, worked out a full substitution table by analyzing the laptop's rune grid. I can show you what that table looks like right here. They noticed patterns with prime numbers and matched vertical pairs of symbols to specific values. Using this key, the team translated the Witcher mural text into hex and then into decimal, yielding 8 meaningful numbers. These turned out to be the new server codes 00255, 00006, 00181, 00051, 00091, 00240, which had been brute forced before, and then we have 00270 and 00420. Finally, the mainframe accepted all 8 entries. The mainframe printed out what looked like coordinates. Moving on, a new waypoint popped up on the map asking players to go there. Those who did found themselves standing in the middle of nowhere, just an open desert, rocks everywhere, and silence. Just a few meters away from the exact waypoint, there was a small telltale sign, an old mattress laying on the ground. To trigger what came next, players discovered that they had to do nothing, just like the tic-tac-toe hint suggested. By standing or meditating on the mattress, something extraordinary happens. It also had to be around daybreak, around 4 or 5 a.m. in the game, for the event to trigger. When V comes to, the man is gone, vanished into thin air. All that's left are his clothes on the ground, his jacket, shoes, without a body. On his laptop, V can read the same 3 messages we saw back in the shack, confirming it's his computer, plus 6 new personal log entries written by Polyhister. Polyhister, for example, describes arriving at the scene to find V unconscious and then setting up scanners to analyze the area. Suddenly, he experiences visions. He's barefoot in the sand, then in a room watching a monitor where someone else is watching him. In the second vision, he sees the whole of Night City on that monitor and realizes this watcher isn't just observing him, he's observing everyone. Polyhister looks at the monitor again, and now he sees the watcher sitting there, watching him watch it. He feels a presence, turns around and sees nothing, turns back around, and the watcher is staring right at him through the screen. In his final log, Polyhister writes that he finally understands, but knows it's too late. There's one more thing we need to take a look at. The texture on the cube is a QR code that, when decoded, displays a message seemingly addressed to the community. It reads, "You've been looking long enough. You can now stop. It's over." Or is it? No, really, it is. One thing ends, another begins. Except nothing's beginning or ending. That's just your gonk mammal brain trying to make sense of your world, to create order, to control, to try to delay the inevitable realization that you are nothing. We are nothing. Mathematics, physics, chemistry, in the grand scheme of things, nothing but tools to acquire power. Hardly more advanced than the first rock we grabbed to bash each other's skulls in. Isn't that liberating? You're welcome. Go, be free, frolic like the over-evolved primates you are. And for all you seekers and fools, finding patterns where there are none, creating order out of chaos, here's a little secret for you. This isn't the first time we've met, and it won't be the last. But for now, you can rest easy. Celebrate your adorable little achievement by cracking open a broseph and marveling at being the only creatures on this planet with opposable thumbs. Just don't read too much into things. In the grand scheme of things, you get the gist. Catch you around, Chumbata. That is the final message from CDPR to all of us in the community surrounding the FF06B5 mystery. Is CDPR going to develop this mystery onwards in Cyberpunk Orion? Most definitely, yes. But for now, this seems to be it. But going back to the reason that this video even exists, what remains unsolved here? Well, a couple of things. We still don't know what FF06B5 actually means, what it stands for. We don't know who built the statues or placed them where they are. And perhaps the most intriguing and terrifying thing is we don't know who this watcher is. We don't know what the watcher wants, and we don't know how whatever the watcher is doing is going to affect the world of Cyberpunk in the coming games in the future.
The war is coming. I feel it.
Found out treasures are always lost. Pleasures and rage come back. I'm watching you. Be careful with your moves tonight. I think the time is right. I think the blood is dried.
Chapter 5. The Deluge Catalyst. A war is coming to Night City. We know this by now. I made an entire video about the Deluge theory of Cyberpunk 2077, and you can watch it on my channel. A rogue AI invasion is also coming to Night City apart from the war, and the entire thesis of the theory is that all of these events are going to happen at once. As some people used to say, the devil never comes alone. He always brings some friends. The one thing we still don't know about this is what is going to be the catalyst for the Deluge. Will it be V who causes this thing to kick off? Will it be Arasaka, Militech, the NUSA perhaps? Nobody knows at this point. It's truly difficult to say right now, and honestly, I think that's for the best. Alright guys, this has been a long video, so thank you for sticking with it all the way to the end. If you've made it to this point, let me know in the comment section below which chapter you found the most interesting and why. Take care for now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.